So in this problem, we're told that a particle is moving with the given data. Find the position of the particle. We're told that a of t is equal to the cosine of t plus sine of t, s of 0 is equal to 7, and b of 0 is equal to 6. So we know that a of t is equal to the cosine of t plus the sine of t. So we know that the antiderivative of an acceleration function is a velocity function, and then the antiderivative of a velocity function is a position function. And so what we're trying to find is the position function. And so what we got to do first is just find the antiderivative of this function here. So the antiderivative of cosine is sine. So we have the sine of t. The antiderivative of sine is minus cosine. So minus the cosine of t. Then we got to add plus c, because whenever we take the antiderivative, we got to add a constant. So now let's find the antiderivative of our velocity function. So the antiderivative of sine is minus cosine of t. And then the antiderivative of minus cosine is minus sine of t. And then plus, then we have the antiderivative of a constant is just the constant times the variable, so plus c times t. And then we gotta add another constant at the end. We're taking the antiderivative, so plus d. Then now all we gotta do is just solve using these things they give us. So what we're gonna do first is use our velocity function. So our velocity function is right here, and we're gonna set it equal to 6, plug in 0, and then solve for c. So we're trying to find what c equals and what d equals, and then we're just gonna plug it in for our answer. So velocity function, we set it equal to 6 equals the sine of 0, which is 0. So 0, and then minus the cosine of 0. And so the cosine of 0 is going to be 1. So minus 1 plus c. So if we add 1 to both sides, we'll get that 7 is equal to c. So we know that c equals 7. And now we got to find d. We're going to use this position data right here. So s of 0 is equal to 7. So 7 is going to be equal to minus cosine of 0. Cosine of 0 is 1, so minus 1 minus the sine of 0, which is just 0. And then plus c times t, and then c is 7, but t is 0, so it's just going to be plus 0, then plus d. So if we add 1 to both sides, we'll get that d equals 8. So now that we know d equals 8, all we got to do is just plug everything back into our function and we'll be done. So s of t is going to be equal to minus cosine of t minus the sine of t plus c times t, so c is 7, so plus 7 times t plus d. And we know that d equals 8, so plus 8. So this right here is going to be your answer.